Remember when dating shows were simple, genuine, and focused on fostering meaningful love connections? Are you ready to witness the revival of an old concept with a modern twist? Well, the Golden Age dating show is coming to us soon on television. The concept of the show is simple. It brings together a group of single women, all of whom are in their golden years, age 60 and above, who are looking for companionship, love, and perhaps even a second chance at romance. So the ladies will vie for the affections of Gary Turner, a 71-year-old retired restaurateur whose high school sweetheart and wife Tony died suddenly in 2017 after 43 years of marriage. He has two daughters and two granddaughters. Contestants engage in heart-to-heart conversations, share life stories, and participate in various activities designed to foster genuine connections. The Golden Age dating show will be a must-watch. The show will air on ABC right after Dancing with the Stars at 10 p.m. on Monday nights. Now, the premiere date announcement is delayed due to the Hollywood strike, which has left the fall TV season schedule a little bit up in the air. But that's okay because I'm sticking with the writers and the actors because I get that you need your residual checks and a decent life earning wage. So I'm with them. So anyway, tune in to witness the magic unfold as the search for love transcends age and touches the hearts of millions worldwide. Kashaun is an award-winning public speaker, business coach, and CEO of Next Step Forward, LLC. She works with new and aspiring business owners and entrepreneurs who ditch their 9-to-5 in their passionate pursuit of launching their dream businesses. As a speaker, Kashaun meets her audiences right where they are to encourage them to resist the common urges to work harder and do more, rather than taking measurable steps to actively move them forward in their businesses. Thank you, Kashaun, so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Sunita. It's great to be on and share great value for your audience today.
So a lot of women who are 40 and over, they either want to start their own business and don't know where to start, and then others have started, but they're stagnant. So how do you help women solve these problems? And is this a common problem, a common denominator?
Oh, great question. So one, it's a very common problem, and that it's a two-path approach, right? Either you have these women that they toy with the idea. They think it's nice. Oh, it would be nice if I could. And so they spend a lot of times thinking, wishing, and then what typically will happen is they'll develop maybe the side hustle, right? Where they do this thing over here just for fun, but this is not for real. I can't, in any way, stop working and go and do this. Or you have other women that they've taken the plunge, they've jumped into it, and they're just, while they feel fulfilled, they're getting more of the burnout because the structure isn't there. They don't know what they don't know, and they really don't know what to ask or where to seek help. And usually I've encountered both of those women, but I just, without judgment, without, shame, game, or blame, you meet them where they are and you just kind of help and assist them through, uncluttering or decluttering the mess to be able to get them back on track with what they need to do. Mm-hmm. And so it's one that what I would say is the path to entrepreneurship is not for the faint at heart. So the first thing we want to do is make sure you're serious about it. And if you're serious, then we start to look at what's the right path for you, because there's no one size fit all model. You have to develop the path that works best for you and the lifestyle that you're after.
Yeah, I actually tell a lot of women our ages that one benefit that we have is that you do have life experience, having worked in the company that at least you have an idea what CRM is, most likely, some of the
Mhm.
different platforms. But what are some of the challenges? I mean, okay, often I get people ask, should I start an LLC? Should I start a corporation? But they haven't even planned before that. They haven't thought out their ideas thoroughly. Now, how do you help your clients through that?
So, and that's a great question. And you're right. I think that, a lot of us, we get into the stratosphere and we want to jump head first without doing the research. And one of the first things that I do is I insist on doing that research, because what you'll find is in some cases LLC makes sense, in some cases corporation makes sense, but you have to really understand the structures for each of those, what's required based on the model or business that you're looking to launch. And it's an incremental step. So what's your plan in 1 year? What's your plan in 5 years? And then what's your plan maybe long-term, 10-year plus? The reason you do that is because that sets the foundation for deciding what business model may be right for you. But again, it's just, you have to do the homework. I will not, partner with women in a sense that says, we'll just go do it. We'll figure it out along the way. No, 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 no. We're going to unpack it. I want to know what your goals are. And we actually have an exercise that we do. We write down and we go through, what are your 1 year goals? Why do those goals make sense? What are you looking to accomplish? And then, your 5 year and 10 year, we go all the way through the plan so that you understand, up front what you're looking to do and what makes sense and how it's going to work for, again, the business that you're going after. And I follow that model really because it's the model that was afforded to me. So essentially, it's the only one that I know. I had a coach before, jumping into entrepreneurship full time. And then I have a coach now that kind of works with me through it. So I understand the value add of having that partner there with you to know, okay, this planning stage is essential. It's not optional. It's essential to the success and the growth of your business.
Yeah. So do you have an example? Like, okay, we just had my fiance's family member, I won't give any hints, but much, much younger, just quit a job for business ideas, had about 3 different ideas. Do you have an example? Because my first thought was she needs to get another job, keep a job, and build the business on the side, because one, she has no life experience. Hello. But do you have an example of a client who may have come to you with like 2 or 3 ideas? And if you don't mind sharing, and just a general ideas, so women, if they're don't know what they want to start, maybe, vending company, whatever, just some ideas of what's out there. And then I guess a shortened version of your process.
Sure. So yeah, when, let me see, a good one. So I had a young lady. She was extremely talented and passionate, right? But her personality style was, I'll get in there and I'll figure it out as I go. First of all, that's expensive. Because again, you don't know what you don't know. But then the trial and error process it's a costly one. And so what we did was, you do like mind mapping. And that was one of the first exercises we did. And we took each of those business ideas and we just kind of mind mapped them out to see, okay, where are you looking to take this structurally? Because one, she hadn't looked at competitors. She hadn't looked at the pricing structure. She hadn't even looked at essentially the product itself to see if it was a valuable product to introduce into the marketplace. So we had to go through all those things. And as we began to uncover, everything that's outside of the glitz and glam of saying, I'm an entrepreneur, she's like, oh, I see. So we in a 12-week program, we kind of unpacked and worked through, and just not to put a fire extinguish her fire of doing what it is she wants to do. I never want to do that. I want to encourage you. I want to keep that flame going because it's important. But I want to also tame it a little bit, rein it in, and just let's see how strategically, how to make it make sense. How do you market it? Because that's a whole different part of the branching structure. How do you handle your sales funnel to be able to attract people in? While it's a great product to you, what does it look like to the market, and how are you positioning yourself? So those are all the things that we just kind of worked through. And she eventually did, she was able to, leverage upon, let's say, pick one product, let's go with that, and then let's build. Okay, now we bring the next product in, and you have this family. And today she's thriving, she's doing well, and she's looking to, scale those business models up, which is ideally what you want to do. It's not that it's a bad idea. Mm-hmm. Everything great happens with time, is what I tell them.
Yeah, great point. One, the client said, I'll figure it out as I go. I'm sure that's very common. You probably run into that with 99% of your clients. And then two, like, you want to encourage them to do their research, but you don't want to extinguish their excitement. And I think that's part of the I'll figure it out as I go, because they're afraid if they take too much time researching or whatever, that they may not want to do it. Because I did have a friend years ago wanted to start a shoe business. I'm not sure how much she wanted to design her own shoes or whatever. I'm not sure how much research she did, but something happened where she just decided not to do it. But I don't think she was willing to pay her dues. Mm-hmm. Like, she liked shoes, but she never worked in a shoe business. So my thought was, well, maybe you might want to get a job. I mean, that was just my thought. I don't know.
Yeah.
But is it common, I guess, for maybe specifically women? Because I think men tend to be more fearful. Women are more worried about no's, and we give up quickly, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Is that their fear when you mention to them to do their research, not realizing that you're actually helping them have a successful business in advance?
So it's a fear, but as I said, it's the not so sexy part of entrepreneurship. Nobody wants to do planning. Nobody wants to do, that portion of it. What I help my clients to see, though, is the value add in it. And so when you approach it from the value add standpoint, and you help them see how their bigger picture fits into it, then it's like, well, let's look at one, where that passion is derived from, right? What's firing it up? Is it the idea that you get to exercise your creative mind in the case of, your friend with the shoes? Is that the creative mind that is wanting to get out there, explore, and create? And then now you figure out how to build a business structure around that. And so the idea of entrepreneurship, what I hear a lot is, well, I want the autonomy to do what I want to do and make it my own way. And yes, you get that. Yes, you do. However, without the structure of doing business, that doesn't last long. So you also, in order to be successful in this industry, you have to know how to do the business part of it too. And that's the planning, that's the sales, the marketing, all the other things that's really done behind the scenes that, maybe looking at you, Sunita, you make it look easy, right? And they don't realize all these things are happening on the back end. And it's like, oh, you mean that? Okay, so it's a well-oiled machine is what we say. You can't have one without the other. And really, that's the mindset of business structure and entrepreneurship that I work to build. That's foundational. Business one-on-one, because you can't have one without the other.
It's interesting because I'm kind of a what is it called? Serial entrepreneur, although
okay.
I was modeling or whatever. That's sort of entrepreneurship, but not really. But I've always had something on the side or trying to build something. But it really wasn't until when I left the industry, moved out here, and I had to take a regular job in sales that I realized this is what I've been missing. Actually, in modeling, because there were models who were funny and personable. I'm an introvert. So they were selling themselves. I didn't know how to sell myself. It was just, here's my pictures. So I had to learn how to sell. And I'm still, even with what I'm doing now, having to learn how to sell because I actually don't like it.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And maybe this is true for you. What you find is those nooks and crannies that you don't like, those are the ones that provide the most value for you. They're the most soul nurturing because in those you are learning, you're stretching yourself, and you are, essentially, because you at some point you take the resistance out of it and you embrace, what's there for you to gain. And as you probably learn with getting into sales, it's like you don't know what you don't know, and learning how to ask, and then you're like, oh wait, this is how this fits into that. Without that piece, then I can't. And then the light bulb started going off of, that's why I was having the trouble. That's why this part wasn't necessarily fitting with my business models. Because there's essential core pieces in business structure that you just can't get around them. They are essential to building any brand, any business. You got to do it. And then what you essentially get to do is, if you decide, okay, I don't want to deal with that part of it, once you learn it, then you can hire out, right? Then you can, right?
Exactly. But I always tell people, at least try to do it first, because when you're paying someone, you understand the value and the money that you're paying them, with the value of the work that they're doing, you have a better idea. So then my other question is, are there common businesses that people are starting? Because I look at all these YouTube channels. I think there's vending businesses, people are starting candle businesses. What is it? I guess the body care, the lotions, and all that other stuff. Are there common avenues or common businesses? Like there's a lady, let's just say it's a woman out there. She knows she wants to start a business. She's keeping her full-time job, but just something on the side. She has no idea what, but she wants to do something. Do you give ideas to people of your clients, things that they can do?
So what I do with my clients is we do the exploration, right? And I always start with, well, why entrepreneurship? What is it about entrepreneurship that has you fascinated or enticed to where you're wanting to entertain this thing? And what usually comes out is, well, I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, right? And I go, great, okay, what's in that spirit? Let's tap into that. And what I find is most women, they're looking to explore that creative part of them that gets muffled by the mundane, the day-to-day, the part of us that's structured, that type A, where we can't really go off the rails. So then when they get into that creative space, they learn, oh, I like writing, I like speaking, I like painting, and so what we do is we just kind of, let's unpack that. Let's see what that looks like. And I'm not going to tell you, go ahead and start a business from it, but let's explore it to see what's there. Okay. And more times than not, with that exploration, we look at, okay, well, in a year, what does it look like in terms of, do you think this is something you want to go and explore as a business model? I think that when you find that creative spot in you that speaks to you, you should explore it and see what works. But I also understand that it has to make sense. It has to be sensible. What I don't, typically promote is for someone to just go out and quit your job and now you're trying to figure it out all on the whim of a passion. We're responsible in doing this. And you understand the ins and outs and what is it that fuels you. So tap into your inner, your heart, not your mind, not what makes sense and what can make you a lot of money. Where's your heart? And usually your heart never lies to you. It's going to show you the path all the time.
Yeah. And quitting the job. It's like one thing I don't think people realize is that anything you want to do usually takes longer than you expect it to. It takes a whole lot longer than you expect it to. But if they're wealthy, then it doesn't matter. But if you're not. So, okay, I have a scenario. I used to live in a retirement community because I was taking care of my dad, and my neighbor's nurse was retiring. and she's from Africa. She makes African bags. And she was asking me, did I know anyone who could help her? She wanted to start her business, primarily retire and make her bags. Does everyone need to come to you? Because in her case, she's retired. I'm not sure how big of a business she wants. It might be more just of a craft business, and she sell things to her friends, maybe eBay but she had no idea about eBay. She didn't know about Etsy or anything like that. How would you help? Do you help clients where they are? Maybe they're not looking to do anything huge, but just maybe she wanted to bring in a couple $100 a month on the, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I think that for me, I meet you where you are. If you're saying, I just want to explore this thing, great, let's do that. And I don't compare, this client to this client. Is what I do is tell me about what this thing is that you're looking to birth. Let's talk about that. Whatever it is. And I'm just as excited about it as you are. So if we're going to go out and do handbags, we're going to make them the best handbags possible because that's your baby, right? We're going to put it in this incubative state, and you're going to begin to see what your options are. If it's only a side hustle, it's only a side hustle. If you decide it's a side hustle today and a big Fortune 500 corporation tomorrow, let's go for it. Whatever it is you want to do, I will meet you right there, and we will gradually walk this thing through till you get, your level of satisfaction and what you want to get out of it. That's really what it's about. It's not my plan, it's your plan. I'm just here to help you, support you, and bring it to life.
I love that. It's like it's a self-discovery within yourself and finding your business. So how would a potential client reach you?
Best to reach me via my website, nextstepforwardcoach.com. And on there, I do offer for a limited time a complimentary discovery session where we start and look at just, a strategy and a conversation about what it is you want to do. Let's make it make sense is my favorite line. Let's make it make sense. And when we can do that, you'll then be at choice to decide what the path is for you. And you make whatever decision you make. And if you, decide today that you want it to be a side hustle, I'm going to explore a side hustle. You call me in 6 months and say, no, I think I'm ready to go. Okay. Awesome. Let's go.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Kashaun, for joining us. Let's make some successful women, not just successful, but fulfilled in their dreams, because we don't know how much time we have here. You may as well live as many of your dreams as you possibly can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Yes. Bye.